your council has blown $11 million in workshops under your stewardship. What's your comment on that?
No, that got lost in translation and in figures. As you know, there are very few mathematicians that make it to the newsroom or the newsroom, and even various areas that are there. If you look at the figures in detail, firstly, we as the council do not even have that kind of money. We don't have 11 million.
So how much was spent?
What was spent in council, as I said in my last council, is something close to $2 million US.
Greetings, and more greetings to you good people. My name is DJ Holly and welcome to 0.5 Creative Studios. Chitubu che content, chitubu chisingapo, chitubu chinonwa nemunhu wese, chitubu chakavhenekwa chikaongororwa nana mazvikokota kunzi aiwaka chitubu ichi chine content iri healthy, content iri clean, content yakachena, yakakodzera kunge chikonsumwa nemunhu akaita kunge iwewe. Ndosaka uri panapa muzvara nhasi. So if it's your first time here, dzvanya subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any exciting content uploaded. Kana wanga wagara uri mugaro wepanapa dango kutenda nekuti sei nekukurumidza kubhadhara rent. Thank you very much for supporting 0.5 Creative Studios. Right, hanzi nameya Jacob Mafume nyaya idzi dziri kutaurwa kunzi hanzi takashandisa 11 million tichita maworkshop inyaya dzefeki hadzisi dzechokwadi. Uyezve vanhu vari kundi ndakaenda kuchikoro chezano PF kuworkshop yezano PF aiwaka inini handinei nechekuita nezano PF. Hanzi takangoshandisa 2 million chete. Hanzi 2 million ndo mari yatakashandisa chete pamaworkshop edu. Ameno kuti 11 million vanhu vari kuiwana kupi, kana kuti mapepa nawo ari kuiwana kupi, kuti ichokwadi izaki iri kutinyepera here kana kuti mapepa nawo hatizoziva zvedu ipapo. But rega tinzwe first hand information kubva kuna meya Mbune achitaura izvo kuti isusu takashandisa 2 million chete. Right, tisati tapinda zvedu munyaya iyi kai segaro ziva kuti kana une bhizimusi raunaro rauda kushambadzirwa, ndibate namba dzangu ndo dziri pascreen idzo. Toita sei tofambira nyaya dzacho. Handitika kana uine nyaya yauda kuti ndifambire ndibate futi pasame number idzodzo. Handitika toita sei tofambira nyaya dzacho. Handitika right, gwenzi rephytomed, gwenzi ranetsa, gwenzi riri kurapa, gwenzi riri kubata basa zvamanje manje. Handitika bata number idzo dziri pascreen idzo. Kana uri muSouth Africa bata number dzakanzi Koni, kana dzakanzi Fochi, kana dzakanzi Nyari idzo. Kana uri muZimbabwe, handitika vasikana ivavo ndo vanhu vacho vari kuita zvinhu zvamanje manje. Vanoita sei vanotoita kuti unge une gwenzi chiripo ripotyo pasina nguva. Handitika and then at the same time tikutaura kuti munhu ngaarongeke. Mari inogara kubank, mari inogara kubank. Handitika saka bata Michael panamba idzo dziri pascreen idzo. Wotaura kuti Michael tabva nekuna DJ Holly wataura kuti iwewe unokwanisa kutivhurira FNB account isina une passport isina permit. Ndo namba dzaMichael dziri apa. Handitika saka bata namba idzodzo woita sei woitirwa mudhiginyira wacho nevakomana ava. Handitika tisingatambise nguva, rega tijambire muinterview tinzwe kuti meya vari kuti chii nenyaya idzi dzakawanda dziri kungobuda dzichitaurwa. Handitika mahwani chaivo zvokutodaro. Rega tinzwe meya vachiita sei vachisasa.
But there's also another issue. I think a week ago, there was a story in the Newsday that in the Herald that said your council has blown $11 million in workshops under your stewardship. What's your comment on that?
No, that got lost in translation and in figures. As you know, there are very few mathematicians that make it to the newsroom or the newsroom, and even various areas that are there. If you look at the figures in detail, Firstly, we as a council do not even have that kind of money. We don't have 11 million.
So how much was
to
spent?
spend. What was spent in council, as I said in my last council, is something close to $2 million US. If you use the exchange rate at the time that it was used and you add it all up, something close to $2 million. And why is that so? At the beginning of every 5 years, there are mandatory workshops that have to be done, and those workshops are called inductions. And those inductions have to be done. Then you also, if you look closely at the workshops that we did, you'll find some of the workshops that are recurrent are professional workshops, you know, architects, surveyors, accountants, that our employees have to go to retain their licenses.
But probably the residents maybe are saying you are not being considerate when you take the Harare city for a workshop to Victoria Falls and not doing it in Harare or in Marondera or...
we will have to look at the way it's done. Every city has a workshop outside the city, particularly the first workshop, which is induction, because they want to take you away from any distractions. We don't mind having the workshop in Harare. Mind you, if you look at the regulations, a councillor gets $10, 10 ZIG, not 10 ZIG, 10 RGS, 10 RTGS as lunch and as supper.
Which is now ZIG, because the RTGS no longer exists.
ZIG or whatever it is now. So, but there's no out-of-pocket allowance that a councillor gets when they move. The ones that probably get an out-of-pocket allowance are the senior executives and the workers in terms of the collective bargaining agreement with the unions. So the highest one gets 200 US, 150 US, so and 100 US, going down as the case may be. Those are the ones that may probably benefit more from the workshops. But
maybe can the residents be assured now that under your watch, the workshops may be contained in maybe in Harare or closer to Harare to cut costs?
We will cut costs. I've already cut costs. I've got memos that I've written that are on record. I've refused to allow certain workshops, and I've also I've kept them at the barest minimum or the essential of the workshops. And certainly the cost per month will never increase to that. What we'll also do is to reduce the numbers. Some of these workshops were invited by professional bodies who are also part of our residents. Your ZNCCs, your CZIs, your IPMZ, even journalist bodies invite us to their workshops. And because they are part and parcel of our ecosystem, we are obligated to send delegations to them, architects, developers, and so forth. And some of them are reciprocating visits, like the Trade Fair, Sanganai. Those cities would have brought delegations to Harare, and then we bring them. So it's an ecosystem. But I agree with you that we have to watch the bottom line and the cost. But I want to assure the residents that it was never $11 million US dollars. It was close to $2 million, and we have every reason. We can justify every workshop and why it happened. Granted, if people feel that, and as they feel, that the bulk of them have to be held in Harare. We've just recently held a graduation of the workers right here in Harare.
Let's go to the another section.
Right, mavanzwa meya vachitaura kuti aiwaka haisiriyo mari yakashandiswa. Mari yakashandiswa is close to 2 million. And this was what 2 million for my workshops over a space of 7 months. And ndikuona kunge 2 million yakawanda. Plus parutaura nyaya yema10 maziga apa yari kuti 10 maziga anopiwa munhu 10 zigi yechikafu. Zviriko here zvinhu zvikanati ari kutaura nyaya yekunyeba. Ameno vanoshanda ikoko kana kuti vane ruzivo nezvazvo munogona kuti batsirawo, because kakamiro kaita kuti 10 zig 10 RT ari ndondondo ndomba unongoona kuti body language yemunhu inenge nekakunyeba mukati handitika. But zvisinei ndozvaari kutaura, hatingamupikise, ndiye anoshanda ikoko, ndiye muridzi wechinhu, ndiye ari kumhanya chinhu handita. Meya weHarare Jacob Mafume ari kutase ari kukurukura handitika, ari kukurukura achitsanangurira kuti aiwa haisi 11 million mari yakashanda ichi 2 million, close to 2 million pa 7 months dzacho idzi handitika. Saka vanzi saita maworkshop ekuHarare kuVictoria Falls. Victoria Falls yongetawo maworkshop avo ikoko, vekuHarare voita avo kuHarare. Zvakaipei? ameno kuti zvinobuda here kana kuti zvinobuda here, but zvamanje manje zaki yakagara vakomana vari kuita huori. Vamwe vacho vanenge vasina kunyatsomira pachokwadi nenyaya yemusangano, ndosaka muri kuona vari kubatwa vachiita sei vachikandwa kuseri, but haisi kumira kurova vakomana vehuori neshamhu nyoro handitika. But rega tichinzwa nyaya yeworkshop yakaitwa yeZanu PF yakaatendwa nameya kunzi maSamaria nemajudha zvaakudyidzana papi pakashata. Rega tinzwe kuti vanopindura vachiti chii panyaya iyoyi. Siya comment mucomment section, wotaura mafungiro ako, wotaura maonero ako kuti unozviona sei.
Yeah. You have been on social media for the past week or two with regards to the Herbert Chitepo School of Ideology. People are saying you're now a Zanu PF full-blown member. Is that true?
Well, I don't know why people believe that if a Zanu PF person sits with an opposition person, immediately the opposition person has been converted. Why are people not worried about the Zanu person being converted by myself? The Herbert Chitepo is a workshop rather that Zanu PF members, office bearers, and others that are not even Zanu PF go to attend. And it was being held in my city. It is customary that if I am invited to events that are held in the city of Harare, I go there. If I'm invited by a Christian, I will go. If I'm invited by a Muslim organization, I will go. If I'm invited by a traditionalist, I will go. And that thing, I has even given a slot to give welcoming remarks, which I did. And I focused on the life of Herbert Chitepo. As you know, Herbert Wiltshire Pumaindini Chitepo is a celebrated son of the soil. He was the first barrister, black barrister of Southern Rhodesia, the first black public prosecutor.
Indeed, I agree with you. He's a respected person,
so
that one. But maybe just to cut short, what did you learn from that workshop?
I learned quite a lot about the framework, that the ideological framework of Zanu PF think tank, what they want to impart on their membership, values of where the country came from, or the values of the justification of what has happened in the country, the inclusive government, their ideological thinking, that they have a socialist ideology mixed with market elements, that they also abhor corruption as we do in terms of the ideological framing, and also among other things.
You're a seasoned lawyer and a seasoned politician. What would stop you from starting a program of that nature and not necessarily join or go to a Zanu PF organized program and not yours? Because you're a seasoned politician, a seasoned lawyer. What would stop you from starting a program that you would teach about the same ideas that Chitepo believed?
Starting a program without you knowing what others are doing can be the most misleading.
Yeah, but I think that the question now
the
is...
first thing is what you do is you go into the market. Remember, I was part and parcel of the school of the Morgan Changirai School of Ideology, which was in the MDC. It is also good to understand the Herbert Chitepo Ideological School. And then when we start, like what we've done with the School of Excellence for the City Council, then I can infuse. I know where the Zanu PF councillors are coming from. I know where the Triple C or opposition councils are coming from. I know the areas of convergence, and I know the areas of divergence. And as a scholar and as a lawyer, remember, as you rightly said, I am a lawyer. I can equally represent both sides of any argument. I can be a prosecutor, I can be a defense lawyer. I can even be a judge. So sometimes I will learn what prosecutors do, I will learn what defense lawyers do, and I will learn what judges do. But I will remain efficient and remain with the presence of mind to have a critical thought process going forward. I don't see any conflict.
Your Worship, do you believe that today's Zanu PF is really preserving or following the ideas of the departed Herbert Chitepo?
Well, they are failing in certain aspects, but the stated intention.
But if they are failing, that means you attending that one, then wouldn't have any value in terms of gaining anything, because you know the ideas that Tepo represented, and you are admitting that ZANU-PF is not following those, not preserving those.
No. What one needs to do about value, ZANU-PF, in terms of the ruling party, it is part of government. So everything it does is informed by what comes from its instructing body. So therefore, if it is efficient enough to be a government, therefore you cannot think that whatever it does is of no consequence or value. If you think it's of no value, but it has consequence. It has consequence because the minister that superintends city councils comes from the ZANU-PF. And you need to know what are the instructions in terms of ideological framework that are bringing him into government. And then you can understand some of the things, some of the requests.
What you are saying, Mayor, is very true. But what I think the challenge now is, as you can see, we saw your certificate on social media, and there was a ZANU-PF national chairman signature and the logo of ZANU. So people are saying, at least if it was a government program, they would understand. But now,
how many Politburo meetings have you covered? How many ZANU-PF rallies have you covered? How many Triple C rallies have you covered? How many workshops of ZANU-PF have you gone to?
Many.
Are you ZANU-PF?
No, definitely no.
How does Jacob Mafume, a lawyer of 24 years,
but I think the question,
one workshop and is acknowledged by a certificate of attendance, then becomes a conclusion where you agree with me that you have also attended many ZANU-PF meetings, you have also attended many ZANU-PF rallies. We have all attended.
I think it's the jacket of being an opposition politician.
I'm not an opposition politician. I have a role as a mayor of Harare, and I'm a mayor for everyone. So once you, even if another party were to call me, let's say Monzora calls me and says, come and sit through our process, I'll go and sit through their process. And if I'm given a chance to speak as I did, I then give the side of the story and where I'm coming from. So it is, there's an absoluteness in our politics that is self-serving. The politics is not a religion. It's not a purist journey. Just in as much as you'll find out that Donald Trump was at one point registered as a Democrat and got into the president as a president. Then there are Republicans in every country. Look at it now. The
opposition, should they be worried?
The DA is in a cabinet with the ANC.
Exactly.
We, the opposition, was in cabinet with the ZANU-PF.
You have got many followers, Mayor, countrywide, and including even in your ward.
Yeah.
Should they be worried that you might follow the Donald Trump card, waking up in ZANU-PF, contesting to become a mayor or the president?
No, they should not be worried. What people should understand is that when I'm given a task, just in as much as when a client walks through my door as a lawyer, I will work for the best interest of that client. At this present moment in time, I've taken an oath to work for the best interests of the city of Harare. I will breathe the city of Harare, I will fight for the city of Harare, and I will advocate for the city of Harare issues in keeping with the oath of office I have taken. And that is why I'm following every money that ought to come to city of Harare. I make no apologies for roads being done in the city of Harare. I make no apologies for all the money that I ask for the water for the city of Harare. I'll make no apologies as we sit right now. And I want to assure the residents of Harare that in everything that I do, in all that I need to do, I will be advocating for a better service delivery for the citizens.
Let's go to last.
Right, mazvinzwira mega, mazvionera mega, mukomana apa, I think anenge angakutaura zvine musoro apa, ngatimbomupawo kana kanguva timboona kuti mvura inobuda here mupombi, uyezve magetsi anouya here, mugwagwa, mabhini anotakurwa here, masuweji anosotwa here muguta reHarare. Meya wedu waita sei mavanzwa vachiita sei vachitaura zvikanzi inini handiite zvezanu PF, ndinomiririra vanhu sameya, ndosaka ndakanga ndiriko ikoko. Zvese zvamava izvo kuti chino aiwa inini handidzipindire nyaya idzodzo, handitika nyangwe monzora akandikoka kuti huya ndinoita sei, ndinoenda ndichimhanya, nditika aiwa ndo maonero ake, ndo mafungiro ake, ndo matauriro aari kuita. Isusu tisu tinongoita sei, tinongovhuma zvaanenge ataura kana kusazvibvuma, but chikuru ndechekuti mazvinzwira panapa paChitubu meya vachiita sei, vachitaura, nditika so ndonyanga chikufamba naye zvamanje ndichazodzoka ndikaonga peace meya vachitaura kuti relationship yangu naNelson Chamisa yakamira yakadai so, handitika so make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any exciting content uploaded. As for me, DJ Oli, and the rest of the crew behind the scenes, truth is bye for now. Kasanga name video rinotera.